Hi, what's going on guys? It's Almond. Welcome back to another Wizard 101 video. Today's video is not a key boss for once, and it's actually something different. It's actually a boss that's been in the game for a while now since Lemuria has came out, and we've been thinking about how to make the boss basically quicker, because at the moment the strategy for Power Draconian, which is the boss that I'm going to be talking about, is just really spam single hits, which I feel like is not that good of a strategy. There's no strat to it. It's just everyone spam 2 pips, 3 pips, and if you're a death, you occasionally spam the Ship of Fools, because Drains ignore the AoE cheat in this fight. So me and my chat decided to take it upon ourselves and think of a better strat. So we sat down for maybe a couple hours if I'm gonna be honest, maybe a couple hours during the stream, because what happened was the plan was just to farm Power Draconian for a myth Athame, because I basically lost my Athame. I don't know where it is. If I probably sit down for like 30 minutes, I can maybe find it, but it turned into just a whole separate video, which honestly I don't mind. More content and more easier strategies for people to find. But this strategy, honestly, I'm surprised we came up upon it ourselves, because it took us a while just thinking many different strats, like Scald Incendiate, of course, many other ones. Can you detonate? Can I detonate overtime? Can I detonate a Deer Knight because he has fire res? Like, just many different strategies, or just until we figured this out, that we can actually use Nightbringer in this fight. And you're probably wondering why Nightbringer. Like, no one uses that spell. The only time someone's ever used it is for the Fellspawn boss in the Catacombs. Beyond that, no one has ever used Nightbringer. So we took it upon ourselves and we tried out Nightbringer. So if you actually Nightbringer a single hit, what you can do is you can the turn after you cast Nightbringer, the card will actually cast, but in the same turn you can cast a bubble. So if you cast a bubble and then following up, your Nightbringer spell is going to be casted, and you won't be capped out at 3k damage as intended in this fight. So with this strategy, you are technically able to do it in 4 rounds, which we were able to do consecutively. But there is some things that we probably need to talk about, because there is some RNG involved in a sense of what the Draconian might cast. If you do enjoy these type of videos where I go in depth, talk about strategies, basically cheese is involved in every single fight I do at this point, and you want to see more of these, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that type of stuff. It does help out a lot. And if you want to be in these videos and help me think of strategies for other fights, definitely join Discord. And I'm usually in VC quite often, so you guys can join, you guys can talk to me. I'm an all-around guy that's just a pretty casual person. I just play Wiz just to have fun. So you guys are more than welcome to come by, stop by, do whatever. So the things to note in this fight is that there's some RNG involved, like I was saying earlier. The RNG that is involved is that sometimes you might cast Camp Bandit, and Camp Bandit is a life spell that's 5 pips, and it basically does damage, and it converts a trap that's on yourself and converts it into a life trap on the enemy. So if you use feints in this fight, there's a chance of him using Camp Bandit and taking off that feint and reapplying it on you, but just doing half damage. So if you do a feint, it'll basically be converted and they'll do like a 40 trap on you. So there's a chance of that being involved. It's not a cheat, it's just whatever he might cast. So that is just a note to know. Another spell that he might cast time to time, which is Grenadier. It's the dog that is from the last world, and it does damage, but the main thing is that it gives him a pacify for 3 rounds, which we totally forgot it gives 3 rounds. In my mind, I thought it was 1. But to counteract these types of spells, you use life dispels, and 100% make sure you guys are using a fire dispel whenever it's the turn prior of him doing the power stunner. The power stunner is usually a thing that he does. He puts you minus 40 accuracy on the whole team, and he also stuns you. So it's kind of annoying thing, because you also have to manage that the wolf has to be hit every so often. So to counteract that, we put in fire dispels, so he can't use his power stunner, and we don't have to deal with these annoying cheats. So that's how we were able to bypass it and be able to do a 4 turn. But I'll go more in depth towards the end of the video. If for some reason you don't understand the cheat too, or if you don't understand the cheats too well, I will show it, of course. I'll show how we did it, and then at the end I will do an in-depth analysis of how to do what and what setups could possibly work with this fight. So if that's something that you like, be sure to stay towards the end of the video. But if you can get a general sense of what to do just by me showing the clip, all power to you. So if you do enjoy it, let me know. I will let you guys watch the rest of the video, and I'll catch you guys towards the end where I do an in-depth analysis. Catch you guys in a second. There we go.
Good. Go, go.
I'm just trying to think of some cheese for this fight because we're like complaining earlier, like why does it take so long? So I think we found a strategy. We're just trying
I think
to
this
see
is
if
the
it
first
works.
time I've ever put this pet on. Outside of leveling it.
I mean, at least it has a use, I guess.
Yeah, true.
Kind of, but not really. Wait, type in chat. Let me see.
I mean, not awful. I was hoping for like a ward or something. Maybe a different make cast.
Well, I mean, if he
Doesn't
didn't
get
get
too-
Fortify or Defy, wouldn't it have just been better just sock it on Brace Defy? And you can save up 2 slots and you can put 2 other things, no?
I don't know, man. I made this bet so long ago.
I mean, other than that, it's still a good pet, just for the memes.
Yeah, I didn't want to be infallible.
I can tell. Because you have Infal and Fortify, bro. Choose one.
Yeah. It's like, why was infal even in the pool? It was on a ward pet. It's like a half ward, half make cast.
Maybe just depending on the scenario. You never know. The pet might listen and be like, alright, he's in a tough
Yeah, true.
situation. Alright, let's put on that
Give him a
Fortify.
Fortify here, and then infal before he hits.
Oh, perfect.
Who knows? It could be a super clutch, like, PvE one solo monster pet. I don't know.
Alright, I'm a
Give it the
precast.
tiers you really need.
Wait, maybe I did fizzle. What's my accuracy?
You're actually
36.
36, so you shouldn't.
I should have powered, yeah, because it's 65. Alright, please, don't bug. I feel like it bugged.
Your pips are gone.
Our pips are gone, but isn't it supposed to do the animation of me casting it?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know, I mean, we'll find out this turn.
That's faint.
We praying out here.
It did do the same thing last time. I don't think it showed an animation.
Well, I mean,
But
we'll see
it's
right
not
now,
fucking back.
unless it bugs out or something. Because we just did it and it worked. Like, unless it's just Catalan's broken and I have to use Stormzilla.
Maybe.
Callum, wait, does it let you select the target? When
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
favoring it? Oh, that should work.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
But now let's see if it kills.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't even cast until that turn. That's cool.
Please kill, please.
It should with 3 fans plus your blades.
3 fades, 4 blades.
Oh, yeah.
Should be good. I bet it does 85,000.
Oh god, I feel like that's too high because I can't crit.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
Oh,
if I
yeah,
crit,
you-
if I
you-
crit.
Let's see if I kill now.
Yeah, I did my part. Now you do yours.
Got a shield.
I do have 39 pierce
That's fair.
plus a feint. I should kill. Maybe?
We'll see. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, there's
Round
there's the 4
easy,
rounds.
dude.
That's
Oh yeah, the 4 rounds way easier, dude. Oh dude, yeah, that's actually really nice. Alright guys, now it's time for the in-depth analysis of what was going on, what was everyone's priority slash job, so you guys can get a better understanding, because sometimes people visually don't understand it, so they kind of need an explanation of what was going on. So that's why I do these parts towards the end. So let's start off with turn 1. So turn 1, you kind of want to fish for second priority, because you don't want to be first. And the reason being is, if we have a fire who dispels and he's going first, right, and he dispels, and then that exact same turn power draconian does a spell that's fire, then for the following turn the power stunner isn't going to be dispelled. So for once you actually want to go second in this fight, which not many people would think, but honestly it's way better that you go second in my opinion. So way better, I would highly recommend it. So now when it comes to priority, so if you guys saw, I use Nightbringer and Catalan. So you don't have to have a Storm Hitter, and you don't even have to have Catalan. You can do this with Stormzilla. I have tested this with Stormzilla. So if you don't have Catalan, don't worry about it. And let's say you don't have a Storm, don't even worry about it. So if you're in these last 2 slots, you want to be the same school, preferably, because of cheats later down the line. So if you guys can, 2 Storms right here would be perfect. Perfect. If you don't have 2 Storms, that's okay. What I would recommend is if you have 2 Myths, 2 Myths would actually work in this fight because they don't boost and they don't have resist against Myth. Another option is 2 Balance users, which you wouldn't really think, but definitely would be better. You don't want to have Fire or Ice because Draconian has Fire res and you do not want to risk it. It's highly unlikely that you'll be able to pierce all the way through, and he has 70 resist against Fire. And the same thing for Ice, even though it'll work on the Draconian, the White Tiger has really high Ice resist and Death resist. So I would 100% do Storm, Myth, or Balance in this fight. Maybe Life, maybe, but I really wouldn't do Life either. Just those 2 or those 3 schools I would highly recommend. And for the main purpose of this fight, you really do need a Nightbringer. Nightbringer comes in clutch a lot, and that's the whole point of this cheese. If you don't have Nightbringer, this whole strategy is just nullified. So whoever is going to be in these 2 slots, one of them has to have Nightbringer. It doesn't matter if it's tiered up all the way. Even if you have 1 copy, it works, because if you look, I have the +4 pip. And what that does is, if you look carefully, when I enchant it, it turns my Catalan into a 9 pip spell. That is the caveat of using a Nightbringer. So if you want to use it for this whole point of cheese, you can't cast it till later down the line. So that's where it comes down to turn 1. What exactly are we doing till then? So I am blading myself because I need to start doing starting to have enough buffs so I can do enough damage on Power Draconian. Same thing in the person in the last slot, that's the same school as me. He's blading up to do enough damage to the person in the to White Tiger essentially. The person that is in the first slot or the second slot, they can be really any school. I wouldn't say I need you to be this school, I need you to be that school. It's just you need someone that can spam fire arrows or spam hits. So anybody can be in that first slot, but they also have to have a fire dispel. So it can be you can be a balance if you wanted to and have fire dispel. It just someone needs to have a fire dispel. If you obviously best slot would be fire, but if you don't have a fire, it's okay. You can use TCs, you can use a mastery, just anything that has a fire dispel. So whenever it comes to the second round, you have a person that has power or has a dispel on deck for the power cheese that he has. The person in the second slot is mainly there for spam feints. Very easy job, and occasionally we had the second player spam some life dispels in case of a Grenadier or the Ravenwood spell, the life one that gets rid of your trap. So now it's turn 2. As you can see, we already hit the first person hit with Fire Elf, the second person hit with Feint, and then I bladed myself, and the person in the last slot bladed themselves. Next time, or next round essentially, do the same thing. You can even keep a sharpened blade. I just didn't have time, or just didn't think about it at the time, but I would keep a sharpened blade for your second blade. So you have a sharpened blade and then a regular blade. I wouldn't keep 2 sharpens and 2 blades. There's no reason for that. You're just going to overclog your deck, and I don't want people to deck fail for some reason. So instead, just keep 1 sharpen for your blade and then item card blade if you could. Same thing in the person in the last slot, they're doing the exact same thing. And then this round we have the person in the first slot use the fire dispel, because the following turn Power Draconian is going to use Power Stunner, and since we're going second, we don't have to worry about him using the Dispel. And then also the person, like I said, in the second slot is also going to be spamming their feints as they do, so we can stack up some feints. Because if you guys didn't know, if you do use a Nightbringer spell, you cannot crit a Nightbringer spell. It's been in the game for ever since Nightbringers came out, and you just can't crit. So yeah. So now it's round 3. What I'm doing is I'm a pre-cast my spell. So what Nightbringer is, whenever you cast it, it casts on the next round after whatever you use. So if I use Dark Wind next turn, after I cast Dark Wind, it's going to cast Catalan. So it's not going to take it in this exact turn. You guys will see what I mean. And in the same exact turn, we have the person in the last slot still buffing themselves up, and then we also have the person in the second slot blading me. So we're able to keep our consecutive buffs. Then we have in the person in the first slot go back to what they were doing earlier and just spamming regular hits. It doesn't have to be Fire Elf, but we just use Fire Elf in this scenario just so we can have like consecutive stuff. So now that we got round 3 out of the way, now it's round 4. So round 4, what I'm doing, I'm casting my bubble, and the bubble stays after you kill Power Draconian. So that's why we have the bubble. And the person in the last slot's using either King Art, anything that's like an 8 pip or above, no AoEs. I forgot to tell you that, no AoEs in this fight. Do not spam any AoEs unless you're Death. Death has an exception, but for this cheese priority wise, we're not using Death. So if you're in the last slot, please use a King Art. If you're a Storm, because you do like 1,000 base, or if you even want to just a flex, you can use either a Scion or you can use a Storm Owl. Just comes down to personal preference at the end of the day. So he's using his hit, I'm using my bubble, because if you guys remember, Catalan's going to be cast after that. And the person in the first slot, since they have Dworgen Hat, they're doing massive feint, so I have 3 feints on the boss, and there also is going to be a feint on the White Tiger for the other person. Person in the second slot usually tends to blade me up one more time just to be on the safer side, or to blade up the person in the last slot. Or occasionally we might have the life, do a life dispel, just in case of Grenadier, like I said. So it's just a backup option. So now if we scroll up, as you can see, Mass Feint has been casted. The person in the second slot is buffing me up one more time just to be safe. And then I'm going to cast my bubble. So this is where the cheese comes in play. So since I casted Nightbringer Catalan a round before, I pop my bubble, I insta-cast Catalan. So he doesn't change the bubble. Just as a note, don't try this with Daybreaker, it doesn't work. We tested it. Daybreakering the bubble into an enchant Catalan is not going to work. You guys can try it. I will tell you this right now, from testing, it does not work. And also note, as I said earlier, you cannot crit Catalan, so that's why we're buffing multiple times just to be on the safe side of killing. You don't have to overbuff as much as we did, but we're doing that just for the sake of guaranteed kill. And you don't have to use Catalan if you don't have to. As a Storm, you can use Stormzilla and you'll be perfectly fine. So I killed him, and as I said, it bubble morphed, but it didn't activate it. Then we had our Storm use King Art, and as you guys can see, he has a good amount of Pierce, good amount of stats. He's triple buffed, and he has a feint, and he has access to the bubble that I had left up for him. He's able to do 32k all by himself. And that is the cheese. So very easy cheese. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have been enjoying these explanation parts of the video, because I kind of want to make it easier for new players who don't know what these spells are and have access to just the knowledge behind it and what each thing that we're doing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that type of stuff. If you guys have any other questions, please come to the streams. I stream almost every day. There might be an occasional stream I don't. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comment below or DM me on Discord. I will try my best to reply. But that's about it. So definitely come by the streams, hang out, and I'll probably do more cheeses or more stuff like this in the future. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.